Have you ever felt like something was missing in your life? Something you couldn't quite put into words? Maybe your childhood was filled with all the basics: food, shelter, school, but not love. You weren't shown warmth, affection, or deep connection. And because of that, you may have grown up feeling like something was wrong with you. But here's the truth no one tells you. The very traits you develop because of that absence of love, they're not weaknesses. They're your strengths. Some people grow up feeling something they could never quite explain, a quiet emptiness. Maybe their parents provided food, shelter, and school, but not warmth, not affection, not the feeling of being deeply loved. And because of that, many of them grow up believing something is wrong with them. They may struggle with closeness. They may overthink relationships. They may feel different from everyone else. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Many of the traits developed by people who weren't loved enough as children are not weaknesses. They are adaptations. They are survival skills that help you grow in an environment where emotional support was missing. And in many cases, those same traits can become powerful strengths once you understand them. So if you grew up feeling emotionally neglected, here are a few psychological insights that may help you understand yourself better. Number 1, you may struggle to understand your emotions, but that doesn't mean you are emotionally weak. Research shows that childhood neglect can affect how people identify and express their feelings later in life. Some individuals develop something called alexithymia, which simply means difficulty putting emotions into words. Stanford report: when your feelings were ignored as a child, your brain learned that expressing them wasn't useful. So instead, you adapted. You became someone who processes emotions internally. You might take longer to understand how you feel. You may need more time alone to think things through. But this isn't a flaw. It often means you have a deep inner world. Many people who grew up this way become highly reflective thinkers. They learn to observe themselves and others carefully. Over time, this can turn into emotional intelligence and self-awareness. The same sensitivity that once felt confusing can become wisdom. Number 2, you might find relationships difficult, but that doesn't mean you are incapable of love. Psychology shows that emotional neglect in childhood can influence attachment and social behavior later in life. It can lead to fear of rejection or avoidance of closeness. Science direct: when love was inconsistent growing up, your brain learned to protect itself. Maybe you keep people at a distance. Maybe you hesitate before trusting someone. Maybe you constantly wonder if people truly care. But here's the important part. These behaviors were not random. They were protective. Your mind was trying to prevent the pain of being ignored or abandoned again. And people who have experienced this often become incredibly thoughtful partners once they feel safe. They value loyalty. They notice small emotional changes in others. And when they finally choose to love someone, they do it deeply and intentionally. Number 3, you might be extremely independent, but that independence was built through resilience. Children who grow up without emotional support often learn to rely on themselves earlier than others. They solve problems alone. They comfort themselves. They become emotionally self-sufficient. While this can sometimes feel lonely, it also creates an incredible strength: resilience. Psychological research shows that early adversity forces the brain to develop coping strategies and survival mechanisms. F1000 research: you may be someone who handles challenges calmly, someone who adapts quickly to difficult situations, someone who keeps going even when things are hard. Many people who had loving childhoods never had to build that kind of inner strength, but you did, and that strength is real. Number 4, you might feel different from others, but that difference often makes you more empathetic. People who grew up emotionally unseen tend to notice emotional signals that others overlook. You can sense tension in a room. You can tell when someone is hiding sadness. You understand loneliness in a way many people never will. Early experiences shape how we interpret social situations and emotional cues. Office of Justice Program: because you once needed someone to notice your feelings, you became someone who notices the feelings of others. That ability can make you an incredibly compassionate friend, partner, or listener. You understand pain without people needing to explain it. And in a world where many people feel invisible, that kind of empathy is powerful. Number 5, you may carry a quiet sadness, but it can also become the source of your depth. Growing up without emotional warmth can sometimes lead to anxiety, depression, or feelings of worthlessness later in life. PubMed. And that pain is real. It deserves to be acknowledged. But many people who experience this also develop something remarkable: emotional depth. They think deeply about life. They reflect on meaning, purpose, and relationships. They become writers, artists, thinkers, healers. Because when you grow up searching for love, you become someone who understands the value of it more than most. And that understanding can transform how you connect with the world. So if you recognize yourself in any of these experiences, I want you to remember something important. Your childhood shaped you, but it did not define your worth. You were not difficult to love. You were simply in an environment where love was limited. And the traits you developed to survive that environment, your sensitivity, your independence, your awareness are not signs of damage. They are signs of adaptation, signs of strength. And once you understand them, you can start turning them into your greatest advantages. Because healing doesn't erase your past, it transforms it. If this video helped you understand yourself a little better, make sure to subscribe for more psychology insights about personality, behavior, and emotional growth. And remember, sometimes the people who were loved the least as children grow up to become the people who understand love the most.